The movie begins with a narration about the legendary Ten Rings, an artifact shrouded in mystery for thousands of years. The tale centers on King Chongshuri, a powerful ruler said to have either discovered the rings in a volcanic crater or stolen them from an ancient tomb. These mystical rings granted him extraordinary power and immortality. Instead of using them for good, Chongshuri pursued influence and dominion, seeking to control the world in one fierce battle. As arrows rained down on him, he unleashed the ring's power. Effortlessly defeating his enemies with no mercy, he obliterated armies, smashing them aside as his own forces claimed victory. His exploits were so significant that history documented his army and named it after the Ten Rings. As the years turned into centuries, Chongshu's army expanded its influence, becoming an unstoppable force capable of confronting any adversary. Fast forward to 1996. Despite the passage of time, Chongshu remained alive, consumed by greed and a thirst for power. Seated with his advisor, he asked, "Have you heard of a place called Talo?" The advisor shook his head. Chongshui explained its people possess unparalleled combat skills and unique fighting techniques, deciding he needed to see it for himself. Chongshui set out immediately upon entering the forest leading to Talo. His advisor sensed something unusual. The trees began to move, closing in on them. Their car flipped, but Chongshui managed to save himself in the nick of time. Venturing deeper into the forest, he encountered a woman standing in his path. "How do I enter Talo?" he demanded. The woman responded calmly, "You are not welcome here." Unfazed, he retorted, "Do you know who you're speaking to?" She replied, "It doesn't matter who you are." A fierce battle ensued. Changer, confident in his power, wielded the rings against her. To his astonishment, she deflected them effortlessly, spinning them away as if they were toys. She returned his rings and sent him flying into the water. Years later, the woman, now his wife, narrated this tale to their son. She told him how they first met, and love blossomed between them. Placing a necklace around his neck, she said, "If you ever lose your way, this necklace will guide you home." Time passed, and the boy Shang-Chi grew into a skilled fighter known for his strength and determination. However, his current life couldn't be more different. Working as a valet alongside his best friend Katie, he spent his days parking luxury cars. One day, Katie raced to park a car recklessly, prompting Shang-Chi to shout, "If this car gets scratched, we'll spend our whole lives paying for it." Laughing, she reminded him of their 10-year friendship, and they continued their light-hearted banter. When the following morning they met for breakfast at Katie's house, her grandmother teased them about marriage, to which Shang-Chi quickly replied, "We're just friends." Grandma, afterward, the two left together, boarding a bus for their daily routine. On the bus, a man approached Shang-Chi, demanding the necklace his mother had given him. "I don't know what you're talking about," Shang-Chi replied when the man tried to take it by force. Shang-Chi's instincts kicked in. He effortlessly countered the man's moves, delivering a spinning kick that left him sprawled on the floor. As more attackers joined in, Shang-Chi fought them off with precision and agility, stunning the passengers. One onlooker live-streamed the entire scene, capturing Shang-Chi's impressive combat skills. Meanwhile, Kitty watched in disbelief, shouting, "What's going on? Who are you?" The commotion escalated when a towering, menacing figure with a fiery blade replacing one of his arms entered. The scene is setting the stage for an even more intense confrontation. The fight escalates when Shang-Chi engages the attackers. He fights fiercely, dodging and countering every move. In the chaos, one of the attackers cuts the brake cable, causing the bus driver to lose control and fall to the floor. Katie rushes to take the wheel, while one of the men uses a sword to slice the bus in half. Chong-Chi leaps out of the bus and knocks on the front door, yelling, "Katie, open the door now!" As soon as he gets inside, he warns her the bus is going to split apart. The brake signal is on the right. Chong-Ki switches into full combat mode, engaging the attackers without hesitation. He strikes with precision, fighting left and right, ensuring passengers move to safety. At one point, one of the attackers corners Shang against the glass and sneers, "You and your sister deserve everything that's happening." Shanghai signals Katie, who turns sharply, throwing the attacker off balance, uses the opportunity to Shang-Yi kick him hard, jumping to the other side. Of the bus, the vehicle splits apart, but Shangyi realizes too late that the necklace has been stolen. Disheartened, he returns home, where Katie demands answers. What just happened? Who were those people? She asks. Shangyi replies, I have to leave now. Katie presses, Where are you going? He responds, I'm going to Mao. Those men will be after my sister next. I need to find her before they do. Katie is taken aback. Wait, you have a sister? What else are you hiding? Shangyi tries to reassure her, saying, Look, I know this is confusing, but when I return, I'll explain everything. She refuses to let it go, insisting, No, tell me now. I've spent half my life with you, and suddenly you turn into Bruce Lee, splitting buses and fighting like a martial arts master. What's your real story? Reluctantly, Shangyi reveals. A few months ago, my sister sent me a letter with her address. Those men were sent by my father. I have to reach her before he does. Katie, still stunned, agrees to join him on the journey, saying, Fine, but you're telling me everything on the plane, or I'm walking away as they travel. Sure recalls his childhood. He remembers his father enrolling him in a martial arts school and training him rigorously from a young age. The lessons were grueling, but they shaped him into a formidable fighter. His sister, meanwhile, learned in secret, watching his every move from the shadows. Over time, Shang-Chi's skills and strength grew, and his father eventually assigned him his first mission. Katie asks, Did you complete the mission? He replies solemnly, No, and that's why I ran away, and never went back. He then admits, By the way, my real name isn't Shang-Chi. Katie raises an eyebrow. Then what is it? He answers, Shang-Chi. She laughs. That's not even a big change. When they arrive in Macau, they head to the location his sister mentioned in her letter. They're led in by someone who immediately recognizes Shang-Chi from the bus fight video. You've gone viral, the man says. 2 million views in 3 days. You're famous now. Shang-Chi, surprised, asks about his sister, but the man denies knowing her and instead ushers him into a fighting arena. Katie, confused, he asks, Wait, are you fighting here? The man replies, Not just any fight. This is where the pros are, but your friend's name is already on the board. Changji realizes too late that he's been signed up for a fight and reluctantly accepts his fate as he enters the arena. His opponent is introduced, a fierce and skilled fighter known as the Golden Girl. To Shang's shock, it's his sister, Xialing. She charges at him without hesitation, landing hard blows that send him reeling, shouting, Listen to me, I'm here to help. Shangyi shouts, but she ignores him, continuing her relentless assault. She lands punches and kicks, knocking him around the ring. What are you doing, he pleads. Father is coming for you. He won't stop until he finds you. Ding finally pauses and replies coldly, You shouldn't have come back, as she walks away. Ziling closes her eyes, calling back to their childhood. She tells Shang-Chi, Sometimes when I train, I close my eyes and feel our mother's presence. Do you feel the same? He responds, No. She sighs. I know what you're thinking, but I don't want you to leave. Zhang Yi reassures her, Listen to me. I'll be back in 3 days. At that moment, the plane Shangyi is supposed to take arrives suddenly. Xiang knocks him out, winning their fight, and heads to her office. When Shangyi regains consciousness, he's already there waiting for her. Do you work here, he asks. Xing replies, This whole place is mine. Why are you here? And what do you want? He explains, The 10 Rings army ambushed me and stole the necklace our mother gave me. They'll come for yours too. I don't know why father wants them, but we both know his intentions are dangerous. Jilang turns to Katie and says, Do you know what happened when he left? He said he'd return in 3 days, but those 3 days became a week, then a month, and then 6 years. That's when I realized I didn't need him. I built this place myself 8 months later. I didn't need you then, and I don't need you now. Shang-Chi confusedly asks them, Why did you send me this postcard? She looks at it and says, I didn't send anything. Before they can process this, the 10 Rings army launches an attack on the place. Xiang storms off. ASG Chi grabs Katie and takes her to the elevator to keep her safe. However, the 10 Ring soldiers are everywhere, determined to keep control of the place. Shang-Chi fights them off left and right, but their numbers are overwhelming. One of the soldiers moves toward Katie, who picks up a stick and yells for Shang-Chi. He rushes to her aid, but the stick breaks just as it seems too late. Shang-Chi saves her, but they don't notice a masked man sneaking up behind them. He electrocutes Katie, who collapses. She moans after the fire. She rolls to a stop, puts her hands over her eyes and stares into the distance. She sinks her last one, rescuing Katie and standing beside her brother. The siblings fight together, taking down their enemies one by one. Suddenly, a soldier throws a bomb, and the masked man seizes the necklace before escaping. Shang-Chi chases after him, but the man boards a departing plane. Just as the masked man is about to take off, Shang-Chi catches him, and they engage in a fierce battle. Initially, the masked man gains the upper hand, but Shang-Chi turns the tide, overwhelming him with powerful strikes. As the masked man falls, Shang hesitates, remembering how this man tortured him during childhood training. He's about to deliver a fatal blow when his father intervenes, taking the weapon from his hand. "I told my men they couldn't kill you even if they tried, and it seems I was right," his father says with a smile. "I missed you, my son. Let's go home," reluctantly. Shang-Chi, Shilin, and KT boarded the plane with him. They arrived at the family estate, where Shang-Chi recalled his grueling childhood training. He remembers practicing on a wooden pole until his hands bled, and his father's words, "Before you strengthen your body, you must strengthen your mind. If you want to wield this power one day, you must prove you are pure of heart." Back in the present, the family gathers for dinner. Shang-Chi confronts his father, asking, "How did you find us?" His father smirks. "How could I not know where my children are?" "Now it's time for you to stand by my side." Shang-Chi responds firmly, "That's not going to happen." Jingy returns to her family and takes her brother Sam, who is stunned and dismayed seeing his father wasted away. His father's expression softens. "Do you know, my children, I've lived for thousands of years thinking power was all I wanted. But when I met your mother, everything changed. She made me see the world in a way I never had before. She gave up everything to be with me, and I gave up the 10 rings to live as a normal man," he continues. "She gave me you, Sha-Shay, and then your sister Shang. We lived the happiest days of our lives as a family, but when she died, I was lost. I've been wandering for years, but not anymore." He leads them to a hidden chamber and reveals a map. "After you left, I studied the land where your mother's people lived. Deep in the mountains, there's a gate. Your mother is trapped there, waiting for us to free her." Shang-Chi and Zhang are stunned by his revelation. Xing's father says, "I know you won't believe me, but if she hadn't told me herself, I wouldn't have believed it either." Shang asks, "Why are you saying this, Dad? Are you losing your mind?" Or, what he replies, "I was working on this disc, and she appeared, speaking to me as if she were standing in the same room. She said she needed me by her side. She begged, 'Please come and save me.'" Shang-Chi asks, "Save her from what?" Their father explains, "My son, as I told you, she wants me to save her from her own people. After we fell in love, she asked me to live with her in Tao, but the village elders refused, claiming I didn't deserve to stay there. We planned to live in Talo together, but her people took her away and imprisoned her inside that mountain comes down from heaven to earth in a widescreen camera projection. That is our first clue that hell has arrived." Shang-Chi responds, "Dad, stop. Wake up. Mom is gone. None of this is real." Their father, undeterred, shows them their mother's chains and jillings as well. "I'll prove it to you now," he says. He takes the 2 chains and places them into the map of a dragon statue. As he does, water begins to rise around them, cascading in all directions. The water then forms into a map of a dragon statue. He takes the 2 chains and places them into the mouth of a dragon statue, and I'm going to read you a passage. "This map will lead us to the village's entrance," their father explains. "But the route is like a maze, constantly shifting. There is, however, another path that opens just once a year. To reach the village, we must know the exact time it opens. Now I've discovered the way." At that moment, Xing prepares herself while their father declares, "In 3 days, we'll save your mother and bring her back home." He turns to Shang-Chi. "That's why I brought you here, to save your mother with me." Zling asks, "What if they refuse to open the gate for you?" "Then what?" He replies, "Simple, I'll destroy the entire village." Shanghai, horrified, says, What are you talking about? You can't invade Mom's village like that without warning. Their father grabs Shanghai and throws him to the ground. Shiling tries to intervene, but is also knocked down beside her brother. Their father orders his men to lock them up inside the cell. Shanghai and Cheyenne hear a voice. They follow it deeper into the chamber and find a man who greets them with, "How are you, gentlemen?" Out of the shadows emerges a strange creature, which the man seems to understand and communicate with. The creature approaches Shang-Chi, who asks, "How do you know me?" The man explains this creature was raised alongside your mother in her village. It wants you to return to its home. The creature gestures toward the man, who says, "Believe me, if I knew how, I would have taken you there long ago. But there's a problem. The passage only opens once a year." The creature named Morris scurries forward, indicating it can lead them to Tall, immediately bypassing the usual route. The man adds, "But focus, this is extremely dangerous." Katie asks nervously, "Dangerous?" The man replies, "No one has ever entered and come back, but Morris seems confident he can guide them." At that moment, Shang finds a way out. She grabs a car key and a key box, and they escape. They steal a car, but guards block their path. King drives at full speed while Shang fights off their pursuers. They managing to defeat one of the guards using his fingerprint to open a locked door just in time. Writing further, the maze leads them through the maze-like paths, turning left and right repeatedly. Morris leads them through the maze-like paths, turning left and right repeatedly, stumbling over heavy objects and exhausted to respiration. The forest nearly closes in on them, but they narrowly escape, driving through a waterfall and exiting into a cave. At last, they emerge into Talo, a breathtaking village filled with fantastical creatures and strange sights. As they step out of the car, villagers approach with weapons drawn. Shang-Chi calls out, "I'm Shang-Chi, and this is my sister, Shiling. We're the children of Yingyi." The village leader steps forward and sternly orders, "Turn around and go back to where you came from." Shang-Chi pleads, "Please, you have to understand." Before he can finish, young villagers raise their weapons. Just then, a woman arrives. Calming, lower your weapons." She greets Shang-Chi and Shiling warmly. "I'm your Aunt Nana," she says. "Yell means swine. We don't have much time." And Changi anxiously says, "We don't have much time. Our father's coming here." Nan replies, "Come with me." She leads them to a serene lake and explains, "We've been guarding the Gate of Darkness for 4,000 years, sworn to protect both our world and yours from the evil it holds." Shani tells her, "My father is coming, and he's going to open the gate. He believes you've imprisoned my mother inside." Nan looks concerned. "Why does he think that he says she spoke to him asking for help?" Shangi replies, "Nan, does he still wear the rings?" Shangi nods. "He hasn't taken them off since my mother died." Nan takes them to learn. "The village's history for thousands of years we lived in harmony," she begins. But then the darkness came, unleashing an army that destroyed everything in its path. Every soul it consumed made it stronger. After it annihilated most of our cities, it set its sights on your world to destroy it next. The villagers had once sent their strongest warriors to confront the forces of destruction, but their efforts alone weren't enough. That was until the great protector, a dragon dwelling beneath the waters, arose in their time of dire need. The dragon's intervention turned the tide in their favor. Together, they managed to trap the darkness behind the gate. Ever since it was sealed, the villagers have stood watch, guarding it vigilantly. Nan explains the voice your father hears is coming from the gate, mimicking your mother's voice to lure him into opening it. If he does, it will bring ruin to both our world and yours. But your mother has been gone for a long time. The voice is nothing more than a trick by the ruler of darkness, who knows that the 10 rings hold the power to free him. My life is my own again, he thinks when he finally finds his voice again. His heart is beating faster, and he is both determined and fearful. She continues, handing them a set of garments. "These were meant for your mother, stitched with her own hand." Shang-Chi, Shai, and the villagers began training to prepare for the looming battle that evening. Shang-Chi sits alone, lost in thought as memories of the past flood. In his mind, he recalls a day when his mother was training him in their yard. A gang approached, and the leader accused her, saying, "Your husband tried to destroy us, and now the Iron Gang has come to settle the score. She calmly responded, "My children have nothing to do with your conflict." The leader sneered, "You can let them leave, but someone must pay the price." She told Shangi and Xiang to go inside, and then prepared to fight. However, she hadn't anticipated the gang arriving with an entire army. They attacked her, all at once, and Shangi, watching from a window, witnessed his mother's death. When his father returned, he found Shangi sitting by his mother's lifeless body, overcome with rage and grief. His father donned the rings once more, taking Shang-Chi with him. He stormed the gang's hideout and ruthlessly eliminated them one by one. Afterward, he said to his son, "Blood can only be repaid with blood. Will you help me get justice for your mother?" Changi nodded. "I'll help you, Dad." As Changi grew older, his father handed him a knife, saying, "We found the one responsible for your mother's death. You must finish this for our family's honor. When you return, we will rebuild the Ten Rings army and restore it to its former glory, an era of dominance and chaos." Returning to the present, Shang-Chi stands with the village army as his father approaches. "Let me through the gate, or I will destroy this village," his father warns. The villagers refuse and both sides prepare for battle. Fighting erupts, and Shange rushes toward the gate while his sister organizes the defenses. But father and son confront each other in a fierce duel. Shang-She's father taunts him, saying, "You were there when your mother was killed, but you did nothing. You were just a weak child watching from the window." Enraged, Shang-Chi strikes back, managing to disarm his father briefly, but the elder man's strength and mastery of the rings prove overwhelming. He knocks Shang-Chi down and sneers. "You hit me because you want to be a killer. Is that what you've become?" Shang-Chi counters, shouting, "Even if you could bring her back, why would she return to someone like you?" This infuriates his father, who hurls Shang-Chi aside with the power of the rings and begins attacking the gate. The barrier weakens, and a small, monstrous creature emerges. The villagers, seeing the gate start to open, rally together. Nan shouts, "If we don't unite, they will destroy us all." Meanwhile, Shang-Chi sinks into the lake. As he drifts underwater, the Great Protector awakens, rising majestically from the depths. Shang-Chi climbs onto the dragon's back, and together they fly to the village, ready to confront the growing threat. The villagers fight valiantly, using arrows and weapons to fend off the monstrous creatures pouring from the gate. With the dragon's help, they gain the upper hand. Shang-Chi descends from the dragon to face his father once again. "Mama's not here, Dad," he says firmly. "Get out of my way." His father snarls, "Or I'll destroy you too." Chuni takes a fighting stance, ready for their final confrontation. The rings begin to glow as the two prepare to clash once more. Shang-Chi's father strikes him with 5 rings. Buk-chi dodges swiftly, causing the rings to glow gold as he begins to control them entirely, despite his father's relentless attacks. Shang-Chi stands unfazed as the two clash again, their powers colliding fiercely. His father unleashes his full strength, knocking Chi backward. However, what the father hadn't anticipated was Shang-Chi mastering the 10 rings, wielding them with precision and authority. As the rings encircle Shang-Chi, he prepares to deliver a final blow, but instead of striking, he letting the rings fall to the ground, refusing to kill his father. He has to savor his father's exclaims desperately. "Dad, understand, she's gone. Your family needs you now." Shang replies before they can say more. A roar shatters the air as a colossal monster, far larger than the dragon aiding them, emerges from the gate. It lunges toward Shang-Chi, but his father intervenes just in time, saving him. In a horrifying turn, the monster seizes his father and begins to drain his soul to increase its power. Shang-Chi watches in anguish as his father, in his final moments, passes the rings to him before succumbing to the creature's deadly grasp. With his father gone, the monster races toward the village, leaving destruction in its wake. Shang, joined by his sister, Xiang, pursues it with unwavering determination. As the beast nears the village, the Great Protector dragon resurfaces from the water, encircling the creature and trapping it momentarily. However, the beast retaliates, grabbing hold of the dragon and attempting to drain its power as well. Meanwhile, Katie, armed with her bow, takes a crucial shot with the village's defenders overwhelmed her. Arrow strikes true, embedding itself in the monster's neck. This provides the dragon with enough strength to recover, just as Zheling and Shangyi rush to confront the beast directly. Jing throws a rope to secure their position, while Shang-Chi, now wielding the rings, leaps onto the monster in a stunning aerial battle. The rings glow brighter as Shangyi channels their power with a final decisive move. The ring's energy crescendos the combined might of the rings and the siblings. Determination obliterates the beast, reducing it to nothing more than scattered fragments. At last, good triumphs over evil. The villagers gather to honor the fallen, paying their respects to those who gave their lives in the battle. Shang-Chi returns to his normal life alongside Katie, while Xialing decides to take charge of their father's headquarters, building her own legacy, and with that, the story comes to a close.